Hello, everybody. I'm live from La La City, Lipstick City here in LA, California. We're here to talk waiver wire baseball, who you should pick up, who you should drop, what you should do this week to make your team undestructible. With me, I have Casey, Lad to the Bone Shinefolds here. Casey, say hi to the audience.
Well, I think you should introduce yourself too, by the way, Ross. But that's
Um,
Ross the boss. I am Casey. I'm happy to be here. It is. Oh, look, he's even wearing his own
wristband. Ross
wristband.
the
That's nice.
Boss. Yep.
You have a softball game today?
I did have a softball game early in the morning, which we won both games.
Nice.
Uh, but Valley Heat. Um, so we're live, KC. Baseball season. Let's talk about what's going on in the Major League Baseball whole structure. LA Dodgers best record. Not surprising.
No.
Mets are up there. And my team, who I like, I just like their pitching staff. I like what they're doing on the field. Is San Diego, the Padres.
Yeah.
They have a pretty good team, Casey. I mean, we all, their starting pitching is really good. They have the best closer in baseball, and Suarez, 14 saves, unbelievable. But I mean, what's your opinion on the Padres? Do you think they'll be able to keep it up? Do you think they can contend with the Dodgers, Casey, or do you think this is a flash in the pan?
No, I think they're a legitimate team. And if they were in any other division, I think they would be at least considered amongst the favorite, if not the favorite. They have some great pitching. If Dylan Cease figures it out to go with Michael King, they got Suarez in the back of the bullpen. Machado and Tatis are doing great. Bogarts, Bogarts is so, but he's steady and predictable. So I like him. I don't know if they have the depth. I mean, the Dodgers are proving once again that they can recover from injuries and still stay at the top. Look at all the starting pitching they're missing, and they're not really missing a beat. So I still think the Dodgers, because of the marathon with their depth, will be at the top of the leaderboard. It's at the top of their division, but San Diego's, they're definitely one of the three best teams, I think, in the NL this year.
Yeah, and remember, Tescar Hernandez is hurt. He's not 100%. Might not
He
be
went on the
playing.
IL today.
Oh, he did. It's official.
Yep.
I know in the morning I checked, and I know he's getting an MRI. I guess it wasn't good. And then they brought up the Korean kid, Kim, who had a lot of talk about him during spring training. They brought him up from Oklahoma City, and he played last night, had 2 hits. Not bad. I have him on my waiver wire pickup.
Do you?
I think this kid had a lot of like heat going on before spring training when they signed him. There was a bidding war, and now he's in the show. And what's your opinion about him? Is it somebody that you're focusing on?
I was actually going to talk about, I didn't know they called him up already.
Yeah, he played last night. He batted 9th and had 2 hits.
Well, with Teoscar going on the IL, that means there's still another spot now there. And I was actually banking on Dalton Rushing. I just think
I love that
they
kid.
have him playing the outfield in the minors. He's a catcher also. He would be one of my guys. But Kim stole 2 bags last night. He's a speed merchant. So he's going to help be a disruptor on the base pass. And when you have even if he's batting 8th or 9th, it means you have Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani batting behind him. If he can get on base, he can steal a lot of bags and score a ton of runs.
Yeah, I mean, Betts has not been performing that great fantasy-wise. I mean, and, Shohei hasn't either. Ohtani is not, if you look at the top 10s with batting average, home runs, RBIs and stuff, Ohtani's not like leading the pack like he did last year. I know he'll put it together by July. I get it. But right now, maybe it's a good time to buy him. I mean, maybe
if you can afford him. Yeah. I mean, the problem is owners are still remembering his 50-50 from last year. So even, if he has a bad year this year and starts poorly next year, then I think his value becomes a little more tradable. But you're going to be asking for an Aaron Judge level payment if you're giving up Ohtani at this point of the season.
I mean, let's talk about Aaron Judge. People were saying he's the best right-handed hitter in history. I mean, seriously, huge statement. I definitely think he's a future Hall of Famer. I definitely think he's a great player, but I don't know about being one of the
Look,
greatest.
His numbers right now are Bonds at his prime numbers in terms of his.
They're not that good. What's he hitting? 400? That's okay.
421. Yeah,
okay, that's Dan Ratner hitting, yeah.
But if he can keep it up for a few more years, then he's in the conversation for the all-time greats. But to to say the greatest right-hand hitter of all time when you're.
I mean, there's the guy named Roger Hornsby. I mean, there's some really good
Yeah,
right.
I mean, you got some great ones that are all over the place. But I like having him on the Yankees, although I hate our bullpen. Devin Williams and
Oof, gas
Devin
on a
Williams has been
fire.
terrible. I think his ERA is over 10 now.
What's wrong with? Let's talk about Devin. I mean, people had him as the number one reliever. A lot of people
Well,
liked
the
him.
Yankees paid him to be the number one reliever. Look at how much
I
they're
mean,
giving him.
now he's like, I don't think he has the job as the closer. I really
He's
don't.
not. No, he's not the closer
And
right now.
I mean, is he droppable? If you have him on
No.
I'm not saying on a dynasty team like you and I like to play, but let's say on a redraft league, would you drop him?
No, I wouldn't.
That's quick. That was quick. You didn't hesitate, which I liked. I like that. But I really feel, Casey, that he is he'll bounce back. He'll be back by All-Star break as the Yankee closer. He's just too good. I mean, when he was in Milwaukee, he was unstoppable. I mean, I know the playoffs he kind of fell. He fell off the cliff, but I feel he's going to bounce back and at least have 30 saves. At least. I mean, come on.
Look, I would bet on him to figure it out, but man, it's hard to stomach because relief pitchers pitch so infrequently that it'll take him the rest of the season now to get his ERA into a manageable space. But I believe on the stats at the back of the card he'll regress towards those numbers eventually, but he's got to figure some stuff out, man. Maybe he's, there are players and pitchers who've been great, and then they get to the bright lights in New York and they can't pitch in that environment. I don't know if he's that player yet. It's too early to tell, but certainly New York has a way of exposing people.
May 6th. I'll be a little nervous if I had him on my team, but I don't because again, I didn't have much faith in him when he's with Milwaukee, which he proved me wrong. But I still, again, I don't think he's as great as people say he is. Let's talk about waiver wire pickups in this week 6. Am I correct?
7.
I forgot about week 7 waiver wire. Casey, who's on your top of your list who I should be picking up this week?
On the hitting side, I love Kyle Stowers down in Miami.
The only question I have for you is this: I liked him a few weeks ago. It seems he doesn't play every day now.
Well, now he's getting his numbers now make it impossible for them not to play him. In the last 14 days, he's gotten 41 plate appearances. So we're talking over 20 a week, 4 home runs, 11 RBIs, a stolen base. He was part of, if you remember, he was part of that, the trade with Baltimore last year. Baltimore, he was an excess kind of piece for Baltimore. He still strikes out a lot, 27%, which is pretty high, although it's lower than he was in Baltimore. But his exit velo is in the 92nd percentile. He's 20% on barrel rate. So he's hitting the ball hard and hitting the ball on the right part of the bat. So that means the power and the output is legit. If he can keep doing that, this is an outfielder when you're dealing, let's say you're trying to replace Teoscar Hernandez. That's somebody I would run out there and sign and pick up to try to replace him.
Somebody who's on my list this week plays for Detroit, and he plays a few positions, is Javier Baez.
Oh my gosh, I know.
I mean, he's on fire, and I'm not quite sure what his percentage is. I didn't even check. I assume it's under 60%.
It is at 47%.
47%.
But God, how many times have we been burned on Javi Baez?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you. It's like he's sitting over 300. And they're
playing him in center field now, and maybe he's not as worried about his flashy defense anymore. But I mean, he's hitting 309 on the season, with a few home runs,
and he's playing in Colorado. He's playing in Colorado this week, which is a great place to play.
Yeah, although they're postponed tonight. So
they are.
Considering he plays third base and outfield, 2 notoriously shallow positions. I mean, that position versatility, shortstop, third base, outfield gives you middle infield, corner infield, shortstop, third base, and center field or outfield. So, he's on my list. It was hard to put him there, because of all the, hype around him and how disappointing he had been for years. But hey, maybe he's now just dedicating himself to the game instead of trying to be flash. So why not?
Somebody that you talked about for the past 2 years has been brought up. I think I'm giving him a couple weeks to show his stuff. If he doesn't do well, I think he'll be back down. Is Kobe Mayo of
Yep.
Baltimore, and you've been like his number one fan. I mean, you've been like stalking this guy. You've been calling him on the phone. I mean, you've been all over this guy for the past couple of years. What's your take on Kobe Mayo? Is it somebody that in the redraft league? I know fantasy's probably taken. Redraft league, it's somebody that you would consider.
Yes. I mean, look, how many injuries has Baltimore had in the last
A
2
million.
weeks? And it took that many injuries for them to finally call him up. So clearly they're not trusting him right now. And this might be his last chance to show Baltimore that he can stick. He's not going to be a high average guy. He's one of those light tower power kind of hitters. But I'm not running out to pick him up. How's that? I would certainly pick him up if I had an empty spot on the end of my bench. But I do worry about what he can do. If he doesn't hit right away, I don't think they're going to give him a long leash.
They won't. It's 2
And so
weeks.
that's my fair. Yeah,
2 weeks.
and
If he's not hitting over 280 or 270, he'll be
I
back in
think
the minors and he'll probably
I
get
think
released.
they would take 250 if he showed some decent power, because they're playing terrible baseball right now.
What's wrong? I mean,
They're what, 13 and
I mean,
20.
what's wrong with Baltimore? Is it just starting pitching?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a couple things. At like their hitters aren't slugging. Gunnar Henderson hasn't figured it out yet. Adley Rutschman's been a bit of a disappointment. There's been injuries. Jackson Holiday, obviously. All of these
No,
guys we were
horrible.
hyping up, thinking that they were
I
going to hit
dropped
the
Jackson
ground.
Holiday, just so you know. I dropped him.
Yeah, and I can't blame you. Plus, I don't understand what they were thinking when, they were going to lose Corbin Burns because they weren't going to pony up enough, but they didn't bring in any, like, not necessarily a frontline starter. They didn't bring in any twos or threes to try to replace him.
No,
They thought they could get by with what they had, and they just, the AL East with the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Blue Jays and the Rays, it's just a juggernaut. If you don't have that pitching, gosh, even the Royals are won 8 of their last 10 games, and Detroit is second in the league in run differential. So even when you get into the notoriously weaker, the underbelly of the American League, they're hitting the ball hard and playing good baseball. So yeah, the Orioles don't have the pitching. So I think the hitters are feeling a lot of pressure to score 8 to 10 runs a night. And it's just not a recipe for success.
I agree 100% with you. They're one of the biggest disappointments this season, Baltimore, for any team. Who else is on your list for fantasy baseball week 7? Who else are you picking up?
On the pitching side, I'm going to pick up Gunnar Hoagland. I like his name too, for Oakland.
Yeah, I like Gunnar Hoagland. Tell me about him.
Well, he was good in the spring, and his numbers were good. They just didn't have a spot for him in the rotation, and he's had a history of injuries. But starters are falling all the time. Hoagland has the command, and he has good enough stuff to be a value, I think, in strikeouts and to keep the whip down a little bit. He does pitch in Sacramento, which is going to hurt on occasion, but when you're looking at all the starters that are on the IL, he's somebody I'm willing to take a flyer on.
I like Gunnar Hoagland a lot. I think that he is again, he pitches. The only problem is he pitches in Sacramento, and that place is like a hitter's ballpark. And
yep,
I just don't trust.
By the way,
I like Sears too. I like
JP Sears. Yeah,
he's been pitching okay too. Somebody that won 21 games 2 years ago, and now he's coming back with the Dodgers because they need pitching. Is Tony Gosselin and Joe Dirt.
Oh yeah, I love the kid.
Is it somebody that you would pick up?
Absolutely. If he's available, yeah, I'm picking him up. I want almost any Dodgers starter at this point. because A, it's a good ballpark to pitch in, and B, it's a good lineup to get you wins if you're in 5x5 roto. I don't know if he's as valuable in a head-to-head or points league where strikeouts and stuff are worth the points. But yeah, I mean, Gonsolin and Dustin May, remember, they were supposed to be the future of that rotation as much as recently as 2 or 3 years ago, but injuries have kind of put a little bit of shadow over their prospect shine. But they're great pitchers. So I definitely would consider Tony Gonsolin.
I agree 100%. Is
I
there
mean, Reese
anybody?
Olson, I've talked about him for a
Yeah.
couple weeks in Detroit. He's still only 60% owned. And it baffles me to this day because on the season, he's got over a strikeout per inning, 4 wins, a 3.0 ERA, not a great whip, but a decent whip at 1.22. Why he's not owned more is baffling to me.
Something that we actually had on our show as a guest pitched last week and made his season debut. He hasn't pitched for over a year. Is Lucas Giolito, and Lucas had 7 strikeouts for a season debut last week. Any interest?
He would be on my wait and see list, not a pickup list. I mean, yeah, the guy had a really good season in Chicago a few years back, but other than that one season, he hasn't really put together a decent season, if my memory serves me correctly. And so he had the Tommy John brace surgery, I believe. He didn't have the full-blown Tommy John surgery, and the results on that have been positive. If he can get, my concern with him is command and control. The stuff I'm not worried about. He's always had good stuff, but he's struggled with his command at times. And we've all seen pitchers coming back from Tommy John. The last thing to come back to them is that command. So I would, if he has 2 or 3 good outings, then he becomes a watch for me, an ad. Right now, he's just a watch.
Got it. Anybody else, Casey, that you're?
I wasn't terribly impressed with the waiver wire this week.
Somebody else that I want to mention to you that's been hitting great the past week, and I remember he was drafted in the first round. He plays up in Seattle. Is J.P. Crawford, and
yeah, he was drafted he came up with the Phillies. He was drafted by the Phillies. Yeah,
Phillies, and he's been killing the ball. I mean, he's 6. I think he's like 8% owned. I mean, he's not owned by much, but if you need a shortstop,
and he's a leadoff hitter, so he's going to score a bunch of runs.
Seattle is playing really good baseball. I mean, they're in first place in the West for many reasons, and their hitting is coming through right now. I know they started out kind of slow, and I kind of made fun of them, but now, I mean, they're hitting the ball, and JP is one of the main reasons why. What's your is it somebody that you would pick up?
If I'm hurting at shortstop and I need one, yeah. I mean, he bats at the top of a lineup that's hitting really well right now. So even if he's drawing walks as opposed to getting big hits, he's going to get on base and he's going to get knocked in. He's got a little bit of speed. He's shown a little bit of power this year. He's definitely on the radar because of what he's doing right now.
Something else, I checked this out. This guy I want to mention is only picked up in 10% of the leagues. And he plays in Minnesota, which no one cares about. And it's Ty France. And Ty's just been on fire the past couple of weeks, at least. I mean, he's been raking it. And I know first baseman is a position where there's a lot of talent out there.
Yeah.
But I don't think you'll lose much having Ty France as your starting first baseman. I really don't.
No, I mean, and he proved he could do it when he was in Seattle too. So it's not like this is a fluke. I don't think he's going to give you the power numbers you really want from a corner infielder. So he's more of a stopgap than a first baseman that you're going to want to fill, that you're going to want to plug in, play every day. But he gets on base. He's got a knack for driving in runs, and I think he can certainly be effective.
I agree. And a couple others I just want to throw out there. I'll get your opinion. Andy Paez I'm not going to say Pages. You thought I was going to say Pages, didn't you?
Nah.
Andy Paez of the Dodgers has been really doing well for them. and they're going to need him a lot more with Teoscar Hernandez on the DL.
Yeah.
What's your stake on Andy? Would you pick him up?
Yeah, at this point, I mean, he's proven that he can sustain his level of play. He's the starting center fielder right now, I think, for the Dodgers, and so
He's starting and he's hitting and he's playing really good baseball.
yeah. So I mean, considering all the outfielders who we've been banking on that are struggling, why wouldn't you pick him up and at least plug him while he's hot? Now I'm not going to drop a one of my better players for him. I'm not going to.
I'm talking about fill in. Talking about if Teoscar goes down and you have him on your lineup and you need to pick up somebody.
I mean, Lawrence Butler's been struggling, but I'm not going to drop him for him.
Like Lawrence Butler. I like how you didn't call him Larry. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Also, another guy that you and I talked about he's been on the waiver wire up and down for the past 3-4 years, and is Dalton Varsho of Toronto. I mean, this guy has been he signed a huge deal with Toronto, I think 2 years ago.
Yeah, he's been hurt.
He's not hitting, but this year, Casey, look in the past 2 weeks, he's really killing the ball.
Yeah, well, he was hurt to start the year, so he's up and he's playing pretty well.
Yeah. I like Dalton too. I'm just trying to find these players that are available that you can pick up. I mean, anybody can say, Juan Soto, but Juan Soto's not available. So there you go. Casey, let's talk minor leaguers. Let's talk guys that are about to make their debut, or somebody that if you're in a dynasty league, maybe you should pick up. Casey, who got your eye this week?
Well, I mean, I mentioned Dalton Varsh, not Dalton Varsh. You got me saying it now. Dalton Rushing. I think
LA Dodgers, yeah. Catcher,
I think
outfielder.
A chance
because does he play outfield? I heard he's playing outfield. I know they brought him up as a catcher.
Yeah, but he's qualified in the outfield now too.
Okay.
I mentioned Moises Ballesteros, the kid for Chicago, the Cubs. He's been crushing the ball. There's just not a spot for him right now. The same is true with Roman Anthony. The problem is there are guys who are playing really well that are just stuck. I mean, Jordan Lawler, there's nothing for him to prove in the minors, and Perdomo's not the long-term answer there, but he's playing well right now, so they're not going to give him the chance. There's a pitcher, Zebby. I like his name, Zebby. Zebby Matthews for the White Sox, who's a good young pitcher and should get a chance soon. But
they're calling me to pitch for the White Sox.
There's not a lot of. I mean, Kobe Mayo was just called up, so he would be one.
Yep, we talked about him. But what is going on with your catcher in Miami that you have on one of your teams,
Augustin Ramirez?
What? All of a sudden, I saw there's a big drop off. Like people are dropping him. Why is he being?
Well, he's I mean, he came out like gangbusters. The last week, he's 2 for 22 with a home run.
Ooh.
And so he's cooled off quite significantly.
Yep, I understand.
So that's kind of what's going on.
I just, he was available in one of my leagues, and I'm like, I know Casey. Why? I said, why is this guy? Why all of a sudden everybody's dropping this guy? And I guess the oil is dry. There's no reason to pick him up. Casey, we went over a lot of stuff. Anything you want to add, or can we call it a day with waiver wire baseball?
No, I think we gave them a good amount of players if they need.
They really did.
Obviously, it's just important to work the waiver wires, to look at the injured list, see who's coming back. If there's any injured list players you can stash that are available in leagues, those are the ways to add sneaky depth and sneaky talent without having to give up players to get them. So you just got to stay on top of it. It's a grind. It's a marathon. It is a long season. And we all lose our gas. We lose our momentum or motivation sometimes to stay with it. I know I certainly do. But if you want to be successful, you got to be willing to work that wire every day.
I love those are words to live by Vlad to the Bone, Casey Scheinfeld. I love it. So we'll be on Thursday with Dr. Dan Ratner. Dan's busy today. He's writing his fantasy baseball book. Isn't he writing the fantasy baseball for dummies? Isn't he writing that?
Oh, I thought it was fantasy hockey. Is it baseball?
It is hockey playoffs. It's exciting.
Yeah.
So we'll see everybody 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern, Thursday. And then we'll be back here next week on Tuesday.
For week 8.
And I'm excited for football season. We had the draft
Yeah.
weeks ago. And Cam Stadaboo went to the Giants,
I
which
know.
I think is going to be starting there.
In both of my dynasty drafts, he got taken the pick right before mine. I wanted him so badly.
Oh, I love him because he went to the best college in the country.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
University of Arizona.
No, the other one. No, not that one. No, Arizona State. No, are you crazy?
University of Phoenix online.
It's true. Grand Canyon. So
There
we'll
you
see
go.
everybody on Thursday, but thanks for watching. I'm Ross the Boss. That's Latsabo and Casey.